18th, 2023, and I'm with Kitty Key, formerly Kitty Shivers, and we are going to take a tour of storyboards. And the first one we're going to be, Kitty created these storyboards, and the first one we're going to do is the Jesse Devore League. Tell me about this storyboard, Kitty.
Okay, well, I chose to do the Jesse Devore League because it's kind of start with that because it is Dayzetta. The Jesse Devore League starts down here, one lot south of the Pounds house. The Pounds house is right here. This is one lot of acreage. I can't read how much it is, but acreage right there. And then this acreage up here is where Landry's is. So you see that it takes up from half of the Jesse Devore League, from the most southwest corner to the most northeast corner, is from Pound's house to Landry's, Doug Landry's.
And that would make Dayzetta here in the middle.
Dayzetta is over here, yeah, right in here. There's a place on a map on here that says Daigle. I think this probably right in this area is where the school is. Norbert, no, not Norbert, but Rassel's Daigle, R.A. Daigle. I think his place may be right in here somewhere. And that's where Bert Daigle built his daddy built the brick house on 770. That's where that is. By looking at this map, which is recorded, page 208, volume E, at the courthouse, I got it, and we used it in the original Pound's House cookbook. We put several pictures in there. That sells a cookbook really good if you have pictures. Jesse Devore came to Liberty County before the Republic of Texas and lived in the Liberty City area, from what I understand, and was involved in the development.
Can you guess about when you say before the Republic of Texas?
Yeah.
Can you guess?
Well, but I'm going to guess between 30 and 36, but I don't know that for sure. That's.
And we're talking about 1830.
Yeah, right. I'm because of his age and everything, but he applied for and got this league of land from early in the statehood, which would have been 1836. I don't have the dates exactly on there, and I don't like that I don't. That's the reason I brought that little book, hoping it would say something. Let me tell you that this league of land is 4,428 acres. And so...
Is that the common amount?
A league. That's what a league is.
That's what a league is, okay.
It's 4,428 acres. There are other grants, of course, for other sizes. The one up at Hull, Norbert Daigle survey is, I think your old house was the Norbert Daigle survey. Well, it's not but 100 and something acres, I think. It's not near what this involves. It's my understanding, but I have to pull the old deeds out and make sure my memory is right, that Norbert Daigle took these three even parcels of, he had 3 even parcels of land on this half that he divided between 4 men that drove cattle from Liberty County to Opelousas, Louisiana, down the Opelousas Trail. And as a payment for that he gave them this land. Again, I'm sorry I hadn't looked those names up. I'm pretty sure one of them was Alfred Weed, which I think may be this piece of property in here. And another one's last name was Sherman. there were two of them that shared one of the thirds, and then two of them that each got a third. Then Pounds got the property from Alfred Weed. And these other folks in here, these are the original settlers of what became Dayzetta.
Okay, but this is more of what we think of as Wilda.
No, no, this is Oakdale.
Okay, Oakdale.
Yeah, would have to pull my my map and my glasses, my magnifying glass to see if Stovall's name is on this map. We'll get to Wilda when we go around the box to another place. This Jesse Devore. This is a picture of Jesse Devore that I was given by W.D. We called him D.D. Miller, and D.D. was Jesse Devore's great-grandson. His daughters that went to school with you were Nancy and Sarah and Brenda.
Right.
And then this picture is John Henry Stigler. The Stigler came and they originally settled Hankamer. And then George and John moved over to this area. They lived on the Jesse Devore, and their families are still here. You know, Bobby Stingler. She was descended from that bunch. This is Melissa Moore Hilliard, and
that is what relationship to who I know as Lily Hilliard.
I'm not real sure. She's not. She may be. No. Lily's mother was Ella. She may be Lily's grandmother. I would have to look that up to be sure. But she's in that Moore family and that Hilliard family. This picture here is, I think, we decided that's Lorenzo Carr.
Yes.
And you know the Carrs, and there are a lot of them here. This is his children, and this is Joseph Sylvester Moore. This one is Calvin Smith. I don't believe we've discussed Calvin Smith. I don't
remember the name.
Okay. Calvin Smith's dad was, what is his name? He's in your Texas history book. He was down at Anahuac when they had the little skirmish that started the revolution down there. Silas Moore lived at Cracker Neck. When you go over through Hankamer, you cross White's Bayou, I think it is, and you can see it running there, and it comes from up here by the Pounds house. Right in there it makes a big curve, and there's a community there, and that's Cracker Neck. And Silas Smith and his family lived in that general area. I followed Calvin Smith up here, and by looking at the census records, and Calvin Smith was a charcoal burner. And now this is my take on it. Why would you burn charcoal through here, except perhaps to fire the train or something?
To make charcoal, yeah.
Right. But that's one thing that he did here. He's Pinky Smith's granddaddy. His son Howard was Pinky's dad. Pinky married Rolla Ray from Anahuac, and they had a couple of boys. And then, not Pinky, Howard. Howard married Rolla Ray. Had two boys. One of them was H.P. Pinckney Smith. Howard was impaled by the tongue of a wagon when those boys were little. And their estate was looked after by their granddaddy, Calvin Smith. if you look at the probate boxes at the Liberty County Courthouse, the original receipts for what their granddaddy turned in for them are there. I just found that to be the most fascinating thing because receipts had pretty engraving on them and all that. There was no just plain paper like Lee's Grocery, you know. It was really fascinating.
Like choreography type?
Yeah, pretty stationary and thing, you know. So, and I went there and went through some of those records for him and for the Moore family. We'll get into that somewhat when we get to Hall. I can't remember. Is there one of these boxes? Stay right there. No. None of these mention Hall except this board over here. Hall, as you and I talked about, the survey, one of them up at Hall, is that Norbert Daigle. Well, Norbert and Mary apparently lived somewhere in the area of where maybe our house is and where your property is over kind of on the northwest side of the railroad. And they died, and their children went to live with the Moores. Now, I've not found the connection of why they went to live with the Moores.
Do you know, evidently, when you say their children, they must have died early in their life?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that part?
I don't. I mean, I'm not well enough.
Well, back in those days, people died early.
Yeah, the pneumonia or whatever.
Right.
It wasn't a tragic death, I don't think, like Howard Smith.
Like Smith, yeah.
Mary, I do know Mary died first, and her grave was marked by a metal bedstead on the Lenormand property. Now, that takes me out to the far west side of the Brett Ranch. Somewhere out in there, I
But
think.
it's not marked still.
Oh, no. I mean, this is back in...
Yeah, and from your knowledge, was there a lot of people that were just buried at different places?
Well, they were buried on their home places.
On their home places, and just after time, that's forgotten.
Right. And I don't know how you would know that exactly. We found my great-great-grandparents' farm inside of Woodland up at Spurger, and we took markers in. They let us take markers in and designate a small area for where they were buried. It would take more research than I'm capable of doing or was willing to invest several years ago to figure out exactly where that would be.
Now, from the records that we have available, could someone give a pretty good idea of some of this stuff?
Yeah. When you found the property that particular Lenormand lived on, you'd be within 100 acres.
Okay.
You know? Yes. It would be possible. And somewhere I have that Lenormand person's name written down. The Smiths, as you will look in here, they had several pieces. Calvin Smith had several pieces of property on the Jesse Devore. But this map is after 1900. And so I think they came in and it has little houses where there were houses.
Yes, I saw that.
And you'll see that J.C. Cantor, that's Gail's great-granddaddy, Gaynell, all those Cantor descendants. He's there. There's a Boudreaux there. This is Albert Taylor. He has a lot. And then A. Taylor. Can you say that? Okay. We sometimes can go through that a bit more. In fact, I think those early settlers are listed on one of these boards somewhere. Okay. What's this?
It says Mrs. Hannah Barrow.
Oh, okay.
Grandma Hannah.
Grandma Hannah. I don't recall what that article is about. But if you go to leases around here, you'll see that they're on the Hannah Barrow.
It's
lease.
dated July the 9th, 1923.
Okay. And you'll also hear references to the Barrow place. The Oakdale School was on the second one, I think, is said to have been on the back of the Barrow farm. Well, Fred Lamont has built his house on the Barrow place. And one of the Barrows, but I think that's the one he's talking about. Long Island, that little creek by whatever that starts up at Moss Hill. It comes down and goes through the rice fields.
Yes.
Conservation, preservation property it is now, and comes through right there. That's Long Island. Fred Lamont's house is just south of it. The road to the Oakdale Cemetery is just a little north. The Pounds house, what we referred to as Pounds' Gully, is really White's Bayou. And they meet up out there behind the Oakdale Cemetery and go on further south is White's Bayou and get into Turtle Bayou, go into what we call Lake Anahuac and into the Trinity River.
Okay, let's go to the next one, okay?
Okay, let's go this way.
Let me